folks, welcome back to Maypole Farm and change of plan. Today's video was going to be something different. I'm prepping a I've got a nasty feeling I screwed up. I've got a nasty feeling I screwed up. Yeah. It doesn't take two 40cm bales. Nothing takes full size two 40cm bales that we've got installed. One moment. Okay, we're back. We're going to probably be leasing another wrapper. Yeah, as I was saying, the plan was to do a different video for today's video. I've been prepping some sort of videos like the videos I used to. But the one I was working on, I've run into a bit of a bump in the road, shall we say. Yes, this does 240s. Nice. So let's lease this guy. It's a modded one. It's a fast, a little bit cheaty. Maybe it's just so we can actually wrap these bales that we've made. And we're suffering the penance of having to pay to lease the darn thing anyway. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I've run into a bit of a hiccup with it. And I'm waiting to hear back from the modder that created it. So, while I wait for that, I needed to produce a video because I'm going away soon, and I'm trying to stack up enough videos that I don't have a gap. So things must keep flowing, and so that I can keep things flowing. Wow, that does wrap things quickly, doesn't it? Let's turn on auto drop. And that meant I haven't had a chance to do the bale wrapping and stack all the bales. That's what we're doing. And I'm probably going to lease an auto stacker, to be honest, because there's a lot of them. So, yeah. And otherwise it'll take me frickin' ages to stack them. So, yeah, but yesterday I sat compiling a list of videos that I thought would be fun to make, and I spent a few hours last night and some time this morning prepping some stuff and started recording some stuff, and ran into, okay, that must be a hay bale, ran into an issue, and so here we are. It's not a problem. It is life when you're trying to do deep analysis of stuff, because it doesn't really affect you if you're playing with a mod. Everything still works, but if you're trying to show, oh, these are how the numbers work, then it's like, the numbers don't quite work. So, yeah. Anyway, so we're going to get the bale wrapped, stacked, and depending on how long that takes, we might break out the muck spreader or the slurry spreader and get the grass refertilized. We'll have the clock running at least. And we need to get the carrots fertilized as well. So, yeah, we've got a bunch of jobs to get done before the day ends. But yeah, I think I've spoken about it. I'm going away next week. And so last week I pushed out a whole ton of videos. The new schedule worked quite well for me. And I'm not going to be able to maintain that whilst being away. But what I'm trying to do is spread a not quite similar amount of content, but a decent amount across 2 weeks. So yeah, hopefully I'll manage to get it all recorded. I have a normal week at work next week, so we'll see how it goes. I'll do what I can do, and I can't do no more. It's been really frustrating lately. Most weekends, and it's classic of I need a holiday. Most weekends I am so worn out that I didn't quite, but like most Saturdays I end up falling asleep. Didn't quite yesterday, managed to stay awake, but was ready to go to bed by like 9. Yeah. Oh well. Holiday will be excellent. What have we got to chat about? I don't know really, because I've been doing a lot of these. There's less because there's been less gaps. I've discovered, I haven't watched it yet. There was a Grand Tour video that looks interesting that I haven't watched. So I was not someone who watched all of the Grand Tour. I only really watched the specials because they were more fun. But I didn't realise that sprinkled, littered, whatever, amongst the regular shows were at least one of the special type shows. So I've got that to sit and watch, which I'm looking forward to. That's possibly going to be saved for a rainy day on holiday, because we're going on holiday in November in the UK, so it's bound to rain. That's the reality of things. Let's return that guy. You. And then we will go back into the store. No. Store, and we'll release this guy. And I wonder if the Merlot can run this. Let's give it a go, shall we? Be fun. Wholly inappropriate, probably, but anyway. Yeah. What did I watch? I watched a film last night. I think it's predominantly a Netflix thing. It was a film that Netflix recommended, which is not always a great thing. Dubbed European films. Now, I'm not saying European films are bad. There are some great European films. But this one was a stretch. It was an somewhat apocalyptic film. Now, I like apocalyptic fiction. But it only really revealed itself as apocalyptic fiction at the end. And yeah, it was a bit of a stretch, to be honest. I think most of them struggle because the dubbed dialogue doesn't work very well. It's usually dubbed into American dialogue because, I'm guessing if you dub it into anything other than American, then apologies, Americans will struggle with it. And, it didn't look American. The apartment they were in didn't look American, particularly. The people didn't come across as American. Only one of them had a gun, for example. Yeah, I know. Then you could have stretched it to they were English if they'd have dubbed it into English. But yeah, I guess it was sort of it was a stretch. It was a stretch of a film. But yeah, it was okay. I can't even remember the name of it, to be honest. Kind of the premise was this impenetrable wall sealed itself around an apartment building these people were trapped in, and they had to work out how to get out. And yeah, I'll leave it there just in case you decide you want to watch it. It's on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it, which is really helpful. But it was really average. They didn't have a rating for meh, so it got a thumbs down. I guess thumbs down is kind of meh, but anyway, yeah. I can't talk about the thing I want to talk about. Oh, that's annoying. Technically I could, because by the time this video is out, it will be unembargoed. But I don't have the information I want to tell you about, because Giants don't want to give us the information before the embargo lifts, which is really useless. So I could talk about that, but I may be a little upset. I don't want to. Yeah. I'll save talking about that until after. It's probably sensible. Just in case. But by the time I release this video, it'll be fine. But just in case. I do like being a Giants part. Well, yeah. There's a debate for you. Has its perks, let's say that. Break. Oh, yeah. I'm really, if I sound a little bit disorganized is probably the wrong word. If I'm struggling with coherence today, that is a good word. I've had a lot of headaches the last week. And today has not been a brilliant day for headaches. Like the last 3 days. Yeah, the last 3 days. I've been getting this kind of weird, that's not, I know it like anxiety type symptoms, which I think is just from needing a break from stuff. It's kind of a cumulative thing, I think, which is, good time to be going on holiday. And yeah, my head has been bad lately. I've been tired lately, and I'm sure at least one of you will be thinking about commenting, well, you should just take a break from doing YouTube. But the thing is, if you take a break from doing YouTube, the numbers go down, and that makes things worse. So, well, it doesn't, it doesn't help with some of my anxieties. So, and this is fun, I enjoy playing. So, although I've been playing Killag a bit, I tend to find that if I'm not doing this for, and by this I mean playing games, for making content, I don't play them very much, because unless I've got something to focus on, I'm sometimes less interested, which sounds weird, I know, but unless I've got something that's got me really interested in playing them, lately I've been less interested in playing games. So, but also they're my thing I do to relax. So it's a weird double-edged sword that I play games to relax, but I'm struggling to play games, so I'm struggling to do one of the things I do to relax because I'm not very relaxed. So yeah, welcome to life. So doing this actually helps, and I've spoken about this a few times. Anyway, yeah, just one of those things, I guess. And I'm sure some of you maybe understand it, because some of you have similar things, but where are we going to stick these? Let's stick these next to the doghouse. Hopefully the dog won't try and play with the silage bales. You're getting a good collection of bales at least. I admit, I was sure they came out, but I can't find them now. The round bale, the smaller round bale trailers like this. I'm not going to bother using this to collect the other two. Goose in. Let's return that. Grab our bale spike, which is not there, it's there. Yeah, not the Anderson ones. The I can't remember what brand they were, but the other ones, which they were held like 12 bales. They held them side by side. I can't remember if they were base game in 19. I think they were. I think they were a mod in 19. But, and yes, I know you shouldn't stick bale spikes in sided bales. It's a video game. It's fine. We will stick bale tape over them or whatever. It'll be okay, folks. Realism is not actually key. It's not really a simulation. If it were, we wouldn't be able to pick up 1.5 tons of bales with our little gardening tractor with a 2.5 ton weight on the back. Yeah. So, right, let's get these stacked, and then we will grab the stire and we'll have a look and see whether we go for the manure spreader or the slurry spreader. Not sure which. Also not sure how we're doing for feeding the cows. Yeah, not great. Okay. Just temporarily, because I don't feel like mixing TMR at the moment with a headache. We will just feed them some silage. That will just keep them going for a bit. Jobs are good. Right. Let's have a look at... Both are quite full. Okay. In which case... Oh no, it's a stire, not a case. I know. Let's grab the manure spreader. trash. Spilling manure everywhere. We'll go quite heavy with the dosing, I think. Because we've got quite a lot. Come on, there we go. I've gone back to auto gear shifting, so we'll see how we get on. Steering assist. Yep. That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, let's go plus 90. That should get us well over where we need to be. Let's clear off that course by course, so we're not seeing both. And yeah, that should do a job very well. Oh, make sure we turn around the corner. But yeah, I think last time, and I'll probably talk about it on the next Kinlag video anyway, but I was talking about field leasing and the costs of stuff, and I ended up looking up the cost of leasing farmland in the UK. And I was present. I was there. I was pleasantly surprised by how hard words are, but actually by how easy it was to find the information, and how well organised it was. It was almost like it was in like a research paper type format. It was kind of cool. And how cheap it is to lease farmland. So I was talking about it in the context of the field leasing mod, and it was like £250 a hectare per year, depending on the type of land and that kind of thing, which I thought was, you know, quite cheap. Now I'm not a farmer, so could not be. By the time you've factored in all your costs and stuff, but yeah. So I thought it was pretty good. Wow, we're almost out of manure already. We are going to make quite a dent in our supply, which is fine. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of possibly spoiling, depending on the order the videos come out, because the next Kinlag video has been recorded for a few days. It doesn't have commentary yet. That we are making use of field leasing on there. And so kind of to not make sure, but to understand the relative cost, because I went to lease a field and I thought, wow, that seems dirt cheap. Actually it was not in comparison to the real world. Now, not all of the costs in farm sim relate well to the real world, but yeah, it made me feel more comfortable that it wasn't overly cheap. So with how things were set up, which was cool, you know. But it does really help out if you're trying to progress and you're short of capital. So on here we're going to stick with buying fields, but on there it was a very useful addition. Right. It doesn't mean, you know, the I like that the mod has a minimum lease term, so you can't just lease a field for a month, harvest all of the crop, get all of the value out of it, and then return it, because that's kind of cheaty. But by default it's a minimum 1 year lease, which is, you know, so you have to do like a year's worth of farming on there, which I kind of like. You might want to make it longer, that's up to you. It kind of depends how long you play on a map. I guess there's no point having a minimum 5-year lease if you only play a map for a year. Yeah, you know, but kind of a cool mod, kind of liked it, kind of like it. It certainly opened up possibilities on that save in terms of the things that I'm going to be able to do on there and how I'm going to be able to progress, which is good, you know. Wow, we really have hammered through the load of manure in here already. We might only get that long run and a short run out of this, but you know, doesn't really matter. We are making space in the manure pit, and if we have to switch to using slurry, we have to switch to using slurry. Again, I'm not too bothered because the slurry pit is also quite full, so that would not be a big problem. If we do another short run, we can then just go into doing up-down rows. That'll work just fine. But yeah, we're certainly pulling a decent amount of manure out of that. Now we do need to be careful, I guess, because if the slurry fills up, we will stop producing milk. Not that we're actually producing any yet, so do need to bear that in mind. I am actually tempted to finish doing the headlands with this and then switch to slurry just to manage that. Because that could be an issue for us, particularly if one tank, like if the tank in one of the sheds is full, that would really limit things. Yeah, I might do that. I might do that. Yeah, we'll just run this load out and then switch to slurry, I think. Because at worst case, we could always use the lorry to go sell manure. Easier than we could sell slurry, so that probably makes sense. In fact, it does make sense. Given the problem we would have if the slurry tanks were full, so might explain why we're not producing milk yet from the shed where the cows are about to give birth, because I thought they should be by now. Although the productivity's dropped a little bit, so maybe not. Maybe not. It's complicated, isn't it? It's complicated. Anyway, I'm not going to bother running any more of that because we can't do a full row. So let's top this up to make a bit more space. Grab the slurry tanker. And do the rest of the field. That seems sensible, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Well done, me. I know how game works. And I think that's given us a good 30 or so thousand litres space in here. But we are going to have to start managing this and not just leaving it sat there. Something to bear in mind. If only there was some way we could turn that into stuff. I was... crash. Speaking of which, one, why am I keeping that bale trailer? I think we might be paying to lease. Possibly? No, we brought it. Okay. Now let's hang on to it then. I ended up yesterday randomly Googling the location of BGAs in the UK and found a whole map of them, which was kind of cool. Well, I say randomly, it was because I'm sure I drive past one on my way to one of the trips that I routinely do with work, and I keep meaning to think I should Google that, and I never do. And so last night I did. But yeah, I want to pull slurry out of this tank to see if that's why we're not getting milk when I think we should be. It could just be... No, it's not quite full. Okay. Because well, you're saying that. I thought they hold 45,000 litres. It may not be. I am assuming. And we know what they say when you assume. Yep, you make an arse out of you and me. I was going to say umption, but that would be assumption. But anyway. One of these is leased, I think. Speaking of leasing things. Yeah, so the manure spreader is leased. Straw spreader, okay. Straw blower. So we maybe need to think about buying that at some point. There's a fence. No one likes fence. I forgot this holds an insane amount of slurry. For such a little tiny tank. Right. Can't remember the working width on this one because we haven't used it in a while. Oh, someone left that Merlot running. Damn it. So let's have a look. 13 meters. Okay, that. Let's set it to 12 as well so that they're the same. And we're going to go to plus 90 as well. And we'll just run the up-down rows. And I've just realised that, no, stop. Stop. I've set the wrong thing up. Right, let's go. We'll go to the far side of the field and we'll work our way back across. Yeah, I forgot this thing holds an insane amount of slurry. But that's quite nice, you know. Maybe we'll do slightly less trips that way. And off we go. And while we remember, once the lines disappear, let's grab ourselves a little thumbnail. There we go. And yeah, so some bits are going to be heavily fertilised because they're going to get a double hit from the manure and the slurry, but that's fine. And yeah, we'll get the grass field in decent shape for next time. And I'm just thinking, how's the lime looking? Lime is good. Cool. Because we've been doing a fair bit of cutting on here, so... But I don't remember the last time we lined this field. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we do need to think about buying a manure spreader. But equally, we need to be saving money for the new field. So you can't have everything. And it's not costing that much. So, you know. Kind of curious, actually. What contracts have we got? We've got a nice cultivating contract. That would be fun to run in the background. I think that was there last time, actually. Harvesting, we've got peas, spinach, and I could see it being 17 grand. No, 2 grand. But we're going to get a decent amount of spare peas. It might be worth us running one of those pea contracts in the background. I mean, the last one paid really well with the extra that we got to sell. So, given that you take it and sell it straight away. Yeah, might be worth us running that. One of those in the background. We'll see, because I'm kind of cramming recording, so I might not have time to do that. It might be that we just come back, feed the cows, sleep, and then fertilize the carrots, and we'll be chopping the maize probably in August. Getting our calves, first calves, that'll be cool. Looking forward to that, because that's kind of the whole purpose of the save, to start getting cows. Well, we've got cows, start getting milk. It's a dairy farm. Yeah. Hopefully I'll resolve the other issue, or I might move on to one of the other mods, other mods that I've got planned to do videos on. So, but because I'd prepped for the other one, I kind of didn't have time to switch. So, but I might start prepping one of the other videos and record that next. We'll see. But yeah, I want to try and start mixing it. As I said, start mixing in more of that kind of content again. Which does mean there will be slightly less of these for a bit, because there's only so many slots in a week, hours in a day. So, yeah. Oh, first, so if we take a load out of the other one now, then that'll be good. And I think actually it was showing, the total it was showing was the total, not the total for the individual tank. So, let's have a look. Not sure. Anyway, I'll be back in a sec. No, it was showing the total for the individual shed. So if we look now, you can see Cowshed 1's got 24,000, Cowshed 2's got 27,000 and dropping. So the individual sheds were quite full. So this was worth doing. If we look at the field on precision farming, pH looks good. A couple of spots that aren't, but it'll be fine. And we've got most of the field done, which is cool. Yeah. So we'll get this finished and we will be done for today. Yes, as I said last time, if there are any videos of the mod review, mod deep dive style that you would like to see, stuff to do with Maize Plus, once it's available, will be a definite. Because, you know, that's kind of my bread and butter, you know, so once that's back, we'll definitely be diving into that again. But any other mods, I don't know whether to do realistic livestock or not. So I'm running it on here. But it's kind of like it's just running in the background, I'm finding. and I'm running a somewhat modified version, and I have like the diseases turned off. I'm actually curious, those of you that run realistic livestock, so if we go into the settings, which of the options do you have on? Because I have most, some of them. So the food scale, I have my own custom stuff set up. Oh, I have diseases turned on. Okay. That'll be fun. I guess I have death off. I think I have death off because there was a chance. I think, actually not there was a chance. When the mod was released, it was kind of went a bit crazy. So I guess we need to keep an eye on animals getting diseases. And remember, folks, coughs and sneezes spread diseases. Yeah, but I'm curious, which of the settings do you guys have on when you're playing with realistic livestock? The other thing I learned is that and I'm going to butcher the name now, Bavarian Redneck and Chisel's Vanilla Livestock something or other mod. It's the one that adds the 3D models and animations and male animals. Works with realistic livestock. Apparently Scroft had tested it, because those two don't interact. Enhanced animal system and realistic livestock don't work together. But the one that brings in the models does. Obviously, it doesn't have models for all of the breeds because, for example, I'm pretty sure there aren't Herefords in there. So you'll get some things that don't quite work, but some of it will. So that's kind of cool. The thing to bear in mind, I was playing about with that a little bit this morning, and I did find that if you used that mod, if I remember when I'm doing the edit, I'll put the name on the screen. Currently, if you're running that with the Highland expansion, it removes hairy cows because it overwrites the XML that controls cow types and models, and it doesn't have that in the XML, so bear that in mind. So if you want to have hairy cows, you can't run that mod. Or until it gets updated to include that bit of XML, I guess. But yeah, so that's the thing to consider if you want to have hairy cows. And obviously it doesn't have hairy cow models because those are part of the DLC. So, but yeah, bear it in mind. If you're not planning to use the hairy cows, then you could add it because you'll get male cows that look like male cows rather than male cows that don't look like male cows, if that's important to you. If it's not, then you don't need to worry. Let's grab a little bit more slurry and just finish off that last little tiny strip. Oh, we were so close to getting the whole field done. Oh well. Yeah, we do need to still sort out the carrots. That'll do. Not actually sure how much nitrogen carrots need. I'm going to have a look at that before we finish. Wondering if we could put some manure on those. Let's grab... Come on. Thank you. No. We want this one. Ah, that's good enough. That really wasn't worth doing, was it? Let's attack it from that direction. And is it going to let me get it? Yep. Awesome. Let's just run up and have a look at the carrot field. And we'll just get this corner, which is a little bit short. There we go. Yeah, let's just have a quick look and see how much nitrogen carrots need. So about 100. And we are very low. So we could do some of that with manure. Yeah. What we'll do is, because I'm an awesome driver, stop laughing at the back. Oh, I very briefly tried playing Assetto Corsa Rally. Well, that game was not for me. That game was not for me. At least not in its current form. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, we'll get some manure on there, and then we'll maybe get the solid fert spreader out another time. We need to feed the cows, and then maize chopping is ahead. But for now, that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members, and I will see you all next time.